Hello, everyone. My name is Ellen, and I'm today's host.
And my name is Sherry, and I'm today's host too.
Yeah. So
please, everyone. Please make sure if you rename your name yourself as the way it shows on the slide is gone. So please, everyone, please rename your name if you are Toastmasters member. Please rename your name as Chiu and your name. And if you are non-Toastmasters,
Chiu and your club name and your name.
Yeah, and if you're non-Toastmasters, please just rename your name as 3 and guest and your name. Thank you.
Yeah.
So at the meanwhile, let's welcome everyone to join today's workshop session.
Yeah, so we have 2 really well-experienced trainers today, and today's theme is embracing the podcast era. And well, next page.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone, please rename your name as is showed in the chat box.
Yes. Okay. So this is our club. We are from NTNU Toastmasters Club, and if you are interested in our club, please scan the QR code here, and this is our Facebook page and also our Instagram page.
Yeah, please scan in to know us better.
Yes.
Okay, so
next page.
Next. So yeah, this is me. My name is Ellen, and I'm the Vice President of Education in our club, which is NTNU Toastmasters. And so I'm a student from NTNU, which is师大, and I'm a sophomore student right now, and I major in education. So at the corner here is a picture of my cat, and his name is 肉包, which is meat bun. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because he's really cute.
Okay, next page. Thank you. Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Sherry, and I'm the Vice President of Public Relations in NTNU Toastmasters. And I'm a freshman now, and I'm from the Department of English in NTNU. And if you're interested in this YouTube channel, please scan the QR code here. And I'm also a YouTuber, but I think I'm not really professional. I started a YouTube channel with my best friend called Tiffany, and our YouTube channel name is called The Way Paidang Takeaway. So if you're interested, just please scan the QR code and subscribe us. Thank you. Next page.
So Betty is our today's Zoom master. So let's welcome Betty to introduce herself a little.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Betty, and I'm from NTNU, and I study in Department of Civic Education and Leadership, and I'm a sophomore year student, and I like to play basketball and go mountain hiking. Yes, and I'm today's Zoom master. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Betty.
Okay, next is our timer, which is Harry. So let's invite Harry to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, I'm Harry. And also, I'm the Vice President of Education in NTNU Toastmasters. And there are 2 things about me. The first one is that I'm so interested in educational inequality. So now I'm the public relationship volunteer from Teach for Taiwan. And the second thing is that I'm so interested in human resource. So I have acquired 1 credential from human resource. And this is my LinkedIn profile. So if you have LinkedIn, feel free to connect me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Harry. So
yeah, okay.
So get to the main point.
Yeah. So I believe in this generation, lots of people are interested in managing their own social media. So Ellen, if you want to create your own social media platform, what kind of social media do you want to manage?
I think I would like to make my own podcast, but I really don't know how to make a fascinating podcast to attract others.
Don't worry. As for that, we invited two professional speakers here today to share their experiences of making their own podcast. So first
let's invite the first speaker, which is William. He joined Toastmasters for more than 20 years, and he has a podcast show named Speak with Care, 有话直说. And you can also scan the QR code on the slide. And today he'll tell us how to improve communication skills through preparing our own podcast.
Okay, so Betty, next page, please. Okay, so today William's pathway is L4P2, and which is called Create a Podcast. And in this project, the member will learn how to organize and present a podcast, and also how to choose a podcast style. And also they will structure their podcast content, and also practice various speaking skills to engage the audience. So let's welcome William to bring us Spill the Pod Beans, lead your communication skills while podcasting. Welcome, William.
Sorry, before that, I think everyone, if you have any questions during the whole workshop session, you can feel free to type your question in the chat box, and we will answer your questions during the Q&A session. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Embracing the Podcast Era. I'm William, your podcast host. Spill the pod beans, lead your communication skills via podcasting. Yes, if you are really interested in producing podcasts, you are here. You are meeting the right person at the right time. Today, we will talk about how to produce your own podcast. But before that, today we have a special guest who is Simone Nash. She is the first woman to produce and to do this project, create a podcast in Toastmaster District 67. So I would like to give all my credit to her because she did a wonderful job before. We can skip some parts according to the project manual. So today I'll focus on the structure, especially from the structure, okay? Okay. First, everybody, if you have no idea about podcasts, this is a short clip for you to know more about the podcast. Let's see.
In the last 15 years, podcasts have gone from mainly a niche market to mainstream. There's a world of info and entertainment for people of all interests. So listen up, we have Podcast 101 on the lowdown. There are over 500,000 podcasts in existence, but that doesn't mean we all know what they are.
A podcast is simply a piece of audio, a story or an interview or a documentary series that you can download and listen to whenever you want.
Chris Bannon, Chief Content Officer at Stitcher, a podcast app, is here with a lesson on podcasts. First, where did they come from?
Podcasting has been around for more than a decade, but I would say that it became really popular. It exploded in 2014 with the publication of a series called Serial.
I definitely understand that someone could look at this and say, oh man, he must be lying. It's so coincidental.
And since then, there's now something for everyone, from shows about true crime to news.
From the New York Times, I'm Michael Barbaro. This is The Daily.
And from comedy to fantasy.
What's this one's name? Logan. But he goes by another name as well. Wolverine.
Today, as many as 100 million people are listening each month to the 18.5 million available episodes from the 700,000 podcasts out there. But unlike AM/FM radio, podcasts play through apps. So here's how to tune in.
Stitcher has built the first widely available Android app. So if Apple has an app that's built into the iPhone. Spotify is getting into the podcasting business in a big way.
You can listen on your smart device through the app or on a computer from the website.
If you click that little subscribe button, it will make sure to feed you new episodes of the show.
Which leads us to the third part of the lesson. What are some of today's fan favorites?
Right now, I think there's never been more variety in what's popular in podcasting. Dirty John is a series that came out a couple of years ago.
Whether to intimidate people or to impress them with his dark glamour, he bragged frequently about his underworld ties.
This true crime podcast is also a hit series on Bravo.
I'm John.
People like Conan O'Brien, the TV talk show host and comedian, have gotten into podcasting in a big way.
Conan tends to pop his peas every time he says podcast.
Podcast. This makes the engineer crazy.
Oprah, Dr. Phil.
The hardest part is choosing where to start. That's today's lesson in Podcast 101 on The Lowdown.
Okay, so let's conclude the clip. What is podcast? Podcast is a piece of audio or story or an interview or a documentary. So if you want to do your own podcast, you can refer to this category. Also, you can download and listen to it for free. Okay, you don't have to pay whenever you want. So you can listen to your favorite podcast channel when you are commuting. Podcasts became popular and exploded in 2014. So now we see as many as 100 million people are listening to each month to these podcasts. You can see that we have 700,000 podcasts out there. Okay, so should you start a podcast? Yes, if you are trying to do this project, create a podcast, you have to ask yourself, you should start a podcast or not. Actually, podcasts are informative. If you want to deliver an informative speech in Toastmaster, okay, it is your choice. Podcasts are informative, entertaining, and enlightening. So these podcasts offer hosts a chance to connect with their audience, build valuable connections, make money selling advertisements and products or services, and promote their brands. So if you are an entrepreneur, maybe it is one of your choice to market your company. And then you can try to use it to invoke great information and emotions from interviewees. Many podcasts will feature hosts or co-hosts interviewing other experts in their niche. So just like the broadcast, the podcast, and we can see that we have these kind of feature. Okay, to make an advertisement, these are my channel, my podcast channel. And later on, we will still keep this page, these slides on the air, and we will know why we have to do so, because it is also one of the marketing strategies. Okay, because we only have 25 minutes workshop, so I will give you a short talk about this. Okay, I will make an example using my own podcast channel, Speak with Care. Okay, you have to know several things before you do your podcast. First, you have to know who and what are those people wanted to listen to your podcast. Example, Speak with Care. We focus on people who work in a company. All people, if you are working in the company, in the school, or in any kinds of organizations, you are our audience. Second, where are they working? Okay, they are working in the company and they know little about workforce environment. For example, if we have some students just graduated from the university, yes, you are our audience because you know little about workforce environment. Or if you are the workers, you are the employees working in the company fewer than 5 years, yes, you're still our audience. That's our focus. This is for the second point. Third is why do they want to listen to your podcast? Okay, our audience maybe have this kind of situation. First, they have little time for reading, learning, or even eating. In Chinese, we say 社畜. You just enter the company and you are not the senior. So you have to work hard. You have to take care of any kind of things you don't understand. So you have little time. And then when can you listen to the podcast? Commuting, okay? So you will listen to the podcast when you are commuting and when you have your meal. So maybe you have only 15 to 20 minutes. And that's why we have the focus. And also, what would you do? What would you get after listening to our podcast? Okay, this is our feature. First, after listening to the podcast, you will know how to develop your career path. Second, you can constructively complain your boss or your managers. And our host will help you to do that. And you will feel very excited because maybe you cannot say that in public. And also, after listening to this program, this podcast, you will know how to communicate with your colleagues, with your boss, with your managers. That's why we have Speak with Care. Okay, so I just collect. Maybe you will have several personal reasons why you should start a podcast. Let me show you these 6 reasons. Maybe it will hit you. And personal reasons more directly apply to individuals looking to create a podcast, just like our theme today. This can also be applicable to businesses with small teams. Okay, you don't have to have so many people. Maybe you have only one host. You still can have the podcast. However, typically speaking, larger business will either employ someone who is a professional with podcast. No, they won't hire you to only do the podcast. So they will allocate the work to someone, whether they like it or not. Maybe your company wants to save some money, but they really want to do the marketing. They will ask you, allocate you to do the podcast. Maybe it is one of another choice, okay? So we will see that the first personal reason is that if you are this kind of people, please keep in mind, you are passionate about a topic or have something to say. It is very easy. It is the first step you can try to use in your podcast. For example, podcasting is one of the best methods to talk about something you enjoy. In Toastmaster, before you finish your level 1, you will know how to write your speech, right? And maybe you will do some rehearsals. Now you have another choice to do podcasts because it is, just like I mentioned, it is one of the best methods to talk about something you enjoy or you are passionate about. So you can be able to talk freely and engage with your audience on a personal level. For example, okay, maybe I like to go shopping, so I can tell you how to spend less money getting more things in the supermarket. So not only is this an effective way to teach your audience or share your understanding, but it also makes the experience more enjoyable for you, okay? You will feel very interested in it. So it can be difficult to create content when you are not working on something you enjoy. So the first step is you have to make sure that you are passionate about that. Okay, and second one is that podcasting is an easy platform to create content. Yes, because all things are created by you. So preparing or planning a video recording from multiple angles. Okay, that's very difficult. It's not easy for the freshmen or for the beginners in Toastmaster to do that. So maybe we can try to say that, if the video recording is so difficult, why not podcast recording? Okay, you just need a microphone, you need a computer, and you need a surface. Then you can do your own podcast. So you need to record, edit, and release podcasts on the air. Depending on your style, okay, you can choose your own style. Even though you have some people on the internet will say that, William, your program, your podcast sucks, but you still can skip it and record whatever I want to say on air. So I think it is very free. You may opt for a script. However, the time to complete is still substantially lower than that of video. That means that you don't have to spend much more time producing your own podcast. Okay, the third one is you can develop multiple different skill sets. If you have never partaken in content creation before, you may find starting a podcast to be a bit difficult. Okay, a little bit difficult, okay? Planning, script reading, recording, editing, and many other elements require skills in order to create a high quality podcast. Maybe we'll think that, wow, it's so challenging. But if you have never had need of these skills, then they probably aren't the best, okay? You don't have to be perfect. Maybe you don't have the professional microphone. You don't have the high quality computer and the recording service. That's okay. According to my experience, I know a senior high school student only use maybe 500 microphone and his laptop to do his podcast. But how about the isolation? And maybe you will have some noises outside your during your recording, right? The student is very interesting. He used pillows and all kinds of clothes, trying to isolate all kinds of noises from in his room. So that still works, okay? You still can try to do your podcast in your own style. So I think not to worry, dividing into the creation process will soon see that fixed, okay? So podcasting allows you to develop a wide ways of skills. The majority of podcasters will start their podcast solo. If you don't know how to do that, you can start from your own podcast. Only one person to do the host, okay? The fourth step is that maybe you can enable you to interview people you may look up to. If you have experience in listening to the broadcast, you know that some famous host will try to invite famous celebrities to her or his program or broadcast. And now you have the authority in Toastmaster. If you see that, wow, Sara Ye is a famous and wonderful, beautiful host, Toastmaster, ToastCasters, and then you can send an invitation letter to her. Oh, I'm William. I'm trying to do a podcast, and I look up to you so much. Would you like to join our podcast and accept our interview? And maybe Sarah is a very kind person, so she might say yes to you, okay? I think it is a very interesting part. Let me make an advertisement. Later on, we will interview my podcast will interview some senior Toastmasters in District 67. And we don't talk about all about Toastmasters. We talk about their own life, their life experience, their career, I think if they are really if they are a real Toastmasters, they will know how to embed these kind of Toastmastering experience into their career or life. Please look for it. And next, you can enjoy connecting with others. For example, maybe you just enjoy creating content. Personally, I enjoy creating articles on the Facebook, and for the very purpose, I enjoy the process. Just like I do the podcast, I really enjoy the process. Just like one of my hosts, Misato, when we have the recording in the room, we always laugh out loud. Even we don't have the audience, we still see each other and react with each other, and then tell you about some interesting stories. So maybe you can enjoy connecting with others. Finally, you can enjoy helping others. Why? When you do the podcast, why you can enjoy helping others? Many people gain satisfaction and rewards from merely helping others, just like we did in Toastmaster. At the end of the meeting, we will have the recognition and we will reward the best speaker, the best session masters. As you know, the point of this, we want to do that is that if you are passionate about a topic, a skill, or a niche, okay, you may want to share the passion with others, just like you delivering your speech and your speeches in Toastmaster meeting. So I think the podcast is another way for you to enjoy helping others. Okay, what is the podcast structures? If you want to know the fundamental part of podcast, creating a podcast, please refer to Simone Nash, the workshop before. But today I will focus on podcast structure. First one is that, okay, let me see. I cannot remove that. Okay, choose your podcast segments. Okay, and second, tell a story. Finally, always close with a call to action. Okay, it is very similar to our Toastmaster script writing structure. Okay, what is about the first step? Choose your podcast segments. Maybe there are 3 basic podcast segments every episode will have. For example, introduction, intro, okay? Second one is the main content. Finally is outro. I think everybody will know about the introduction, main content, just like our opening, body. But how about the outro? Outro is not just for the conclusion, okay? Because it is one of your episodes. You are not trying to conclude all kinds of things in the one episode. So outro means that you will give your audience a hint, a hook, and then they will know how to subscribe you, how to find you, and how to follow you. So maybe we can try in these 3 ways. The first one, intro. Your intro will tell new listeners who you are. For example, if you are the first comer to tonight's workshop, maybe you won't know who William is. So I would like to introduce myself to all of you, and that's called intro, okay? And why they should listen to your podcast. You have to give them some reasons, okay? Maybe they don't know what your podcast is, what kind your podcast is. But the most importantly, your podcast intro scripts needs to tell your listeners that your podcast is intended for them, okay? All things are intended for them. So it's for the intro. Second one is about, okay, this one, sorry. Second one is about main content, okay? The primary content of your episode could be a guest interview. If you don't know how to do the solo podcast, maybe you can try and start from the interview or try to start from telling a story. A monologue podcast format, okay? I think it is very easy for you. You just write it down, write with your ears, and trying to do the rehearsals many times before you record your podcast. Okay, this content is typically the longest portion of your podcast. For example, if your podcast is about 20 minutes, the main contents may be about 15 minutes above, okay? This is for the main content. Okay, finally, your podcast outro is so important, so don't miss the segment. So many podcasters will just say, see you next time, bye-bye, I'm William. Hope to see you next time, and end up your podcast or your episode. No, please don't skip this segment. In your outro, you should direct your listeners to a specific call to action. For example, maybe you can use some rate, okay? Just say, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Or you can just say, follow me on Instagram or search me on Instagram with Speak with Care. Okay, this segment is key to building up your audience beyond your podcast. After listening to your podcast, your episode, you still can follow your host. Then that will make you become another kind of celebrity. So I think, my time is limited. I will give you this assignment. If you want to tell a story, if you are the Toastmasters, you can try to give the hook and heightening beat, climax, and give the resolution. That's the structure for the telling a story. But today, we don't have time to express about that. So you can just try in your own way telling a story. Okay. These are the outro I just mentioned, always close with a call to actions. So please do remember do that when your show, your podcast, your episode is coming to an end. Okay, these are the structures of speaking with care. The first one, I will give you some scenarios, okay, because it is very vivid, it's real. So when you enter the career, when you enter the company, you will have this kind of situation. Second one, we will have the further discussion, okay, panel discussion. Finally, I will give you some advice. After you complaining about your boss, blaming on your colleagues, you still need to have some constructive suggestions for those people working who works in the company. Okay, my time is up. So I will show you the outro. Now, please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. In Chinese, we will say, 点赞开启小铃铛. Thank you so much. If you have some questions, we will have the Q&A session later. This is William's podcast. See you later.
Thank you, William, for such a wonderful workshop. And yeah, I think because recently I've been thinking about making my own podcast, and I do think that your session is really useful and you give a lot of practical tips, and also you help me gain some confidence and courage to do this. Yeah, so thank you so much. And next, we'll have to invite our second speaker, which is Sara. And she joined Toastmasters for 6 years, and she not only has her own podcast show called Sarah's Sofa Space, sorry. And she's also one of the hosts of Let's Toast.
And she is a very professional ToastCaster. So today she is going to share her observations and experiences with us. So
right.
Betty, next speech. Thank you.
So her pathway is about building a social media presence. So during the completion of this project, the member has to spend time building a new or enhancing an existing social media presence, or generated posts to a social media platform of his or her choosing, and it may have been a personal or professional purpose. So let's welcome Sara to bring us ToastCaster marketing from survival to thriving. And just welcome Sarah. And also, if you guys have any questions, please type your question to the chat box. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you hear my voice? Yes? Okay, welcome to the second part of the workshop. I'm Sarah. I am a member of NTNU, entrepreneur, and alpha, and also an English instructor and a ToastCaster. So what is a ToastCaster? A toast baker? Or someone who is in charge of toasting all the time? Actually, ToastCaster is a portmanteau of two words, Toastmaster and podcaster, which means a podcaster who is also serving in Toastmaster International, which is a nonprofit organization scattering over 143 countries. I have been one of the hosts in District 67 official podcast, Let's Toast. Until last November, I have started open my own podcast, Sarah's Sofa Space. New episode every Tuesday. And podcast is actually a type of social media to promote yourself. And according to our pathway manual L4P2, there are numerous benefits to using your social media in your personal life, and which can include the first one, you can make connections with people anywhere around the world who share similar interests and goals. Like I'm an English instructor, I have a lot of teachers, friends, and since I joined Toastmasters, I also have a huge amount of Toastmaster friends. I love them so much. And ever since I have been doing podcasts for months, I'm also trying to make connection with the other podcasts, and I also love them too. And the other benefit is to gain support and renew old relationship. And most importantly, maintain current ones. And here I want to express my gratitude, my deepest gratitude to Misato. Misato is a Toastmaster from Shenhua Toastmaster Club, and she has offered a lot of technical assistance or her personal consultation to help me open my own podcast. So thank you so much, Misato. And actually, most of the interviewees in my podcast are all Toastmaster friends and letting me know them more. And the next benefit is to gain clients and business contacts. And actually, most of my business contacts are all Toastmaster friends, or they introduce some companies or contacts to me. So most of them are food suppliers, beverage shop owner, or that Vietnamese restaurant owner. And also I have my own product. It's an energy alcohol spray, and I really love the smell. It always can help me calm down. And later, I would like to introduce a bit about a podcaster ecosystem in Taiwan. And actually, the COVID pandemic severely impacted the economy around the world in 2020. According to Google Trend, the keyword podcast search volume has surged 50% since February 2020. Podcast ecosystems growth is exploding. And as you see, the number of the programs has skyrocketed in August 2020 with a slight fluctuation accompanied by a mild surge in July 2021, which reflected two lockdown periods in Taiwan. And at this time, people have started getting used to stay at home for a long time, which has accelerated people to adopt the coming of the digital economy. So among 12,198 podcasts in total in Taiwan, The programs about societies, culture, leisure, and arts and music took up nearly 50% of the pie. And however, the informative podcasts such as business, technology, governmental news, or even educational programs only occupied 20%. And what does that mean? That means the audience listening podcasts is for relaxational mostly. And that's really intriguing. And in addition, professionals as well as entertainers, singers, celebrities, YouTubers, and even politicians have also begun to do the podcasts, which not only has created diversity in this industry, but also driven more people to start listening to podcasts. So now you can take a guess. How long on average does an episode usually take in podcast? And you can type the answer into our chat box. The average length of an episode is about 27 minutes, and only 9% of the episodes that exceeds over an hour. And what time of day do people usually listen to podcasts? In the United States, people listen to the podcast usually between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. But in Taiwan, people listen to podcasts mostly during the commuting hour or rush hour or after 6 p.m. And when do podcasters usually update their episode? Actually, on Wednesday evening time after 5 p.m. All right. And compared to the GHA, GMA, GBA in Taiwan, which stands for Golden Horse Awards, Golden Melody Awards, and Golden Bell Awards, there has not been an equivalent award ceremony to promote podcasters until 2021. Taiwan's online streaming platform, KKBOX, held the first KKBOX Podcast Awards. And the awards included Best Podcast of the Year, and the Best Episode of the Year, and Best Host of the Year, and which have encouraged many podcasters to pour their passion in podcast industry to show and increase their exposure. And however, the reality is that most of the professionals, entertainers, celebrities, entrepreneurs, YouTubers, etc., they have budget. They have financial ads to cultivate the field of the podcast industry. Over 90% of podcasters in Taiwan need to have a full-time job to support their podcast career. So here comes another issue. Is being a podcaster really a lucrative business to do? And what if they're struggling with their life? Let's take a guess, another guess. What percentage of podcasts stop updating after releasing 5 episodes? From 2016 till now, more than 40% of the program stop updating after 5 episodes. And more than 20% of the program stop updating after 10 episodes. And actually, it also depends on the purpose of the podcast. If the podcast is to promote a particular or spectacular temporary event, it doesn't require a regular update for a long time, right? So it depends. And the most crucial part is that over 75% of podcast ad revenue earned per episode is less than 3,000 NTD dollars in Taiwan. Even me, I still couldn't earn to break even my podcast for now. Hardly, almost, but still not break even. So, okay, you can donate just a few bucks and you can support my podcast. Okay, but I have to say, If you love to write, you can start a blog. If you love to solve problems, you can be an entrepreneur. You can have your own business. But if you love to talk, love to sing like me, you can just start a podcast. If you love freedom, you love do whatever you do, just do it. So I'm doing what I love to do, and that's why I love podcasts. Okay, and later on, let me introduce you some ToastCasters in District 67. The first one's Daily Jenny, you're Betsy. Okay, I love her sweet voice. She's a student from NTNU and also a really amazing podcaster. And her podcast is also both in Chinese and English to share different aspects of her life. So if you like Jenny, please go to her. And the next is my favorite Misato 的香气礼记. And it's an podcast about aromatherapy. So if you have any problems about aromatherapy, or if you want to know, is there any methods or any ways to keep healthy, just listen to her podcast. And the next one is from Good Life Alex Wong, My English Paradise. And he provides hundreds of ways to learn English well and good life stories. Please go to him. And the next is our official District 67 official podcast, Last Toast. And there's a group of podcasters are doing this podcast. So if you want to know different Toastmasters, you want to make more friends, please, go there. And later is one of my Betsy, Jenny Zhang. Jenny Zhang has a podcast called Screen 影迷尖叫屋. If you need any recommendation about Taiwanese movie and Hollywood movie, please go to her podcast, okay? And the next, 翻旧账is a podcast from the ALE Max Kevin Fong. It's about a historical event podcast. So if you have any interest in this topic, please go to his podcast. And the other one is the Lulu 聊天室 from CDCC Lulu in Kaohsiung. And basically she's sharing different aspects of her life and her working experience. So if you love her voice just like me, please go to her. Oh, right. And later, this is my own podcast, Sara Sofa Space. Okay, so no further introduction. If you like it, just take a look, check it out. And later, let's go to another part of my workshop today, and how to build your social media presence. And I know you might want my secret, but actually what I always to do is that engaging in what I love, enlighten and encourage others, and especially just me myself. Our social media is a community effort, and everyone is an asset. And that's why I love you all. Our Pathways Manual offers some useful tips. Okay, so I pick 4 of them for your reference. The first one, build your brand. The Toastmasters International brand embodies an organization that empowers people to be their best, to do their best by enhancing communication and leadership skills. So the first step in building your brand is to identify the image you want to promote. So branding is a clear definition of you or your podcast. Okay, and here comes 2 pictures. Picture A on the left-hand side is my current image of podcast. Okay, as you see, it's a sofa, and dedicated light, a fancy light, and the healing plants nearby. And all you have to do is just lie on the sofa and listen to my podcast. Until recently, my Betsy Leah has created another image to me. Let's take a look. Okay, right. Okay, same image, but yeah, there's me. Yeah, okay, me. Okay, sitting on the sofa listening to the podcast. So what do you prefer? Picture A or picture B? Please help me type A or B in our chat box. Wow. So most of the people choose B. Wow, 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 wow. All right, okay. So probably the picture B's image is pretty clear to the message to my on my podcast. So I will change this picture, okay, right after the workshop. Thank you all. And the next, okay. Right. Oh, okay. So the second tip, and then the next tip is to identify your avatar. If you don't know who your avatar is, avatar means the perfect listener of your podcast. Then how can you be questioning by no one's listening to your podcast, right? So potential audience sizes are totally dependent on shoulder topics. So based on the statistics on my platform, currently over 55% of my target audience is female, aged from 28 to 44, and who has the abundant working experience, occasionally feeling struggling, and to keep the balance among the work, life, family, or even love. All they want to do is just lie somewhere, relax a bit at night. So they are my target audience, right? Once you have a clear and concise definition of your brand and determine which type of the content best fits your podcast, okay, and they are your target audience. And the next step is to develop your message. So tell me, what is your 30 to 90 seconds of podcast pitch? There's an example of Toastmasters elevator speech. Since 1924, Toastmasters International has been recognized as the leading organization dedicated to communication and leadership skills development. So through its worldwide network of clubs, each week, Toastmasters help more than 250,000 people build their competence in communication so they can gain the confidence to lead others. So the message is clear. Toastmaster International and communication and leadership skills, worldwide network, and gain the confidence. So how about Sarah's sofa space? I would say this is a podcast featuring traveling perspectives, quizzing experiences, and inspiring stories to explore the most amazing spots of the world and bring your mind and body into a deep state of relaxation. Let's drink and enjoy a comfortable time together. New episode every Tuesday. So my message is clear too. New episode every Tuesday. Relaxation and traveling experience, cuisine, and stories. Okay. And the next step comes to how to increase the followers. And on our manual Pathways L4P2, I chose 4 of them to share. The first one is follow like-minded people. I follow other podcasters on Instagram, so who share views, and actively participate in an online community. I'm trying to comment on their posts and share my thoughts and even link to my own social media sites. I love them all. And the next, post consistently. Post new content on a regular basis is necessary, or you can do it by setting a schedule. Updating your post every day is the best, or at least once a week. And try to determine an amount of the content you plan to post regularly and let your audience know how often they can expect an update. They might like it. And the next, provide relevant content. Focus on your audience need and wants, and when you produce the content. So let the readership know exactly they gain from following you. So I just do the update about the latest episode. And the next is generate positive interactions. That was really fun. Last month, I joined an audition with other podcasters, and I really enjoyed taking the time with them together and respond the comments and the questions. That was really, really fun. So even if you receive the negative response to any of your posts or comments, just try to either ignore them or respond respectfully, right? It's not all of your life. It's just part of your life. And the final step is offer unique and exclusive moments, because you can encourage the followers to return to your post and share with the others your expertise, humor, writing style, and all the backgrounds here. So besides the regular posts, I also hold in-person podcaster meetings regularly. We're cooking out together, or even just chit-chat with our strugglings or our life. And sometimes I invite Toastmasters to join, letting them know more about this industry. And whether you're a seasoned social media user or just getting started to doing a podcast like me, try to find a niche you are passionate about and willing to be immersed in. Last but not least, offer valuable insights into this ever-changing landscape, and you can win the audience heart. So this is how my small show, Sara Sofa Space, reach and inspire lots of listeners by getting creative and dynamic, from survival to thrilling. Sara Sofa Space is a place you never find yourself bored and totally enjoyed Sarah's healing voice, right? Join my podcast every Tuesday on your favorite podcasting app. So back to our host.
Thank you, Sarah, for such an informative and interesting workshop. And I think I really learned a lot from you. And I really love that you say that you really enjoy doing your podcast, and even you enjoy meeting with others and enjoy recording your own voice and sharing everything to others. I think this is very great, because we need to do something with our passion and we will success. Passion is the first thing we need to do. So, and I also really like that you share different kind of like pictures for us to know that I think it's the trend in Taiwan, and show that how people love in different categories of podcasts. And also, I think that how to increase our fans is something I think is related to our something called algorithm. This is like they will set some rules for us, and they will like use different kind of math to calculate and show how to like promote your Instagram app, Instagram account, or maybe like YouTube. Is like different kind of this. And I think that like we can go to different kind of people's Facebook or even their Instagram to like leave some comment, and this is a great way to promote ourselves. So thank you, Sarah, for such an informative speech, and I really learned a lot from it. So
Yeah.
next,
Now
is
we'll
our
have our group photo,
group photo time.
So
So
everyone,
everyone,
please open up your camera.
Yes. Okay, so so is everyone ready? So
Maybe
that's
we'll wait for 10 seconds.
okay.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, please write the question and send it to the chat box. And it could be both English or Mandarin.
Yes.
可以用中文.
Just feel free to leave your questions there.
Yeah. Okay, so I think everyone is ready, maybe, and we'll let Betty to take the photo.
Photo.
Okay, I will take the screenshot.
Okay.
And so the first gesture, and please everyone hold it 10 seconds and I will take photo. Okay. Three,
Yay.
2, 1. Wait. Okay. Okay, the next one. Maybe we can make a heart.
Make a heart.
Okay.
Little heart.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay. So
yeah, and here are the questionnaire. So please scan the QR code to help us fill out the questionnaire. Or maybe Betty, can you copy the link and send it to the chat box?
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we can start the Q&A session, maybe.
Okay, so here I think there are some questions here. So first we want to ask two speakers about how do you choose your equipment, such as microphone or headphones.
Yeah, and maybe
so
William can answer first.
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay, I think Jill's the questions is very interesting because I just skip this part when I'm preparing for my presentation. Why? Because if you want to know more about choosing your equipment, first you still maybe you can start from the microphone. I think maybe you don't have enough money to buy an expensive recording service. Just like the ToastCaster is about 20,000, yeah, 20,000 or so, okay, NT dollars. So maybe if you are still the, the new graduate or the students in college, maybe you don't have this kind of money to waste, okay? So I would suggest that maybe you can find a high quality microphone, just like we have several brands, but we are not sponsored by these brands. So just for your reference, okay? The first one is Shure, S-H-U-R-E. You can find this brand on in their official website. And maybe you can try to use the Rode podcast series. Okay, they also have some microphones for the podcasters. And then microphone or headphones. I have no idea about the headphones. Maybe Sarah have this kind of experience for using the headphones? No? Okay, skip this part, okay? If you have the headphones.
No, I ran a recording studio. I spend money.
Okay. That's also one choice, okay? If you don't want to prepare these equipments, you can go to rent a room or rent a audio room for your recording. I think that is one choice. And about the pricing, okay? Renting a room is from 300 NT dollars to 800 or so per hour, okay? You can see these auditorium room on the websites and you can Google that. You just Google the podcast auditorium room or podcast recording room and you can find so many, okay? You can choose one near your house, near your company, and at your convenience. I think that will work for you. Thank you. And how about the second one? Second question.
My turn? Okay, before going to the recording studio, actually, there's a lot of things you have to prepare. The first one is the outline, the interview outline. So basically, I spent almost 3 to 5 hours to do the communication, to communicate with interviewees and also preparing my questions beforehand. So how much time do I devote preparing 127 minutes episode? And after the recording, I still have to spend 3 to 5 hours to do the editing. So in total, probably it takes 8 to 10 hours, to produce one episode. So, and the third question 3, how do you design the icon picture and do you hire someone to do it? No, I use Canva. Canva is a really useful tool. Okay. And all the people here nodding their heads. Yes. And I can do the editing and I can do the, I can choose the best picture in Canva among thousands of pictures. So I actually designed several versions of my first image of my podcast. And I'm feeling, oh, it's not okay, I want to change another one and just go to Canva again. Canva is my best friend.
Yeah. Canva is everybody's best friend. Also, you can
I couldn't live without Canva.
Yeah, you can use the keywords Canva and editing or podcast on YouTube channel, and you can find so many tutorials, and they will teach you how to use Canva to create a professional icon pictures for your podcast. And about second questions, I would like to respond. Yes. Editing is a very challenging and hard work. After you record your podcast, your episode, and you will have difficult time editing these files. One of my tips is that if you, just like my episode, my podcast, and I have a host and Misato, we have the interaction, we have these 2 hosts. And we have a chemicals, we have a connection that we have to skip or reduce so many unnecessary words and odds. So that's why I think it is very useful for Toastmasters to become the ToastCaster. Your odd counters are very kind and generous in your club. How about trying to become a podcaster? You will know that your odds are more than 100 million times, okay? You will dig more about your unexpected odds, just like my odds are always 的说是说就是这样说。
Yeah, it's so tiring to cut the odds.
When I conduct my speeches in Prestige or 喜羊羊, they will say, William have no odds. So I would like to give my appreciation to these odds counters treat me well, okay? Thank you so much. Back to our host.
Thank you, the two speakers. William's response is very interesting about the odds. Okay, so here our next question is Hook asks that there are already a lot of people creating podcast episodes. So how can we ensure we reach market segmentation?
Hook, 你可不可以用中文问
？OK， 好，翻译都很好了。好，当然是先谢谢刚刚的分享，就是非常精彩。意思是说，因为其实做同类型 podcast 非常多。我举个例，就是像做国际新闻的话，有天下的嘛，然后还有像是15分钟听新。我要开视讯吗？好 ，OK， 好，那我这样问的是因为其实有蛮多做 podcast 的。有很多其实是做同性质的 podcast， 比如说像天下他们这个听新闻嘛，天下听国际吧，我记得，然后还有这个 Howard Morning News， 以及像是我们自己台湾也有一些自己的那个国际新闻的 podcast。那这边是说，其实做同类型的人已经算很多。那如果我们要去切入的话，不知道讲师这边会给什么建议，让我们的 podcast 内容可以和这一些现有主流而且很大众的东西是有区隔的呢？谢谢。
I will turn my control back to Sarah. It is for social media. Sarah， 你先讲，我等一下再来follow。
我觉得这个问题其实蛮大的。第一个就是对你每当你推出一个 podcast， 就这么多人要跟你竞争，那你如何走出自己的路？我觉得这是第一个。而且对于一个就是 podcast beginner， 对他们来说，其实他们根本不知道要干什么。然后像我6个月前刚开的时候，我也根本不太知道我要干什么。所以呢，就是我第一步其实是做我自己喜欢的。然后其实我做很多，而且我老实说，我大概每1个月就想放弃，我每1个月都想放弃。然后呢，我第1个月想放弃的时候，我有一个很好的 partner 叫做 James Chan， 我不知道他现在在线上。对，然后他就说 OK I can take over everything， 然后他就很快乐的让我就是开心的当2个月的小鸟这样子。对，然后之后呢，我第2次想要放弃的时候呢，因为刚好我有说我是就有租录音室嘛，然后那个录音室要在生动台北 Sounding 台北 near 台北 Main Station。我那时候就找了他那个录音室的老板，我就说 Leo 我真的做不下去，我不知道为什么我要做这个。然后他特别把我他说 Sarah 你还好吗？我说我不好，我真的很不好，我现在不知道我为什么要做这个东西。然后他就把我约出来，然后我就跟他就在咖啡厅里，我们就在聊。他跟我说了很多，就是有关于我的频道跟很多同性质相关的，但他也就是例如说像是好像有一个叫 Josie 什么 Salon 什么之类的，对，有很多其他都很相关，很多不同类型分享，然后但是就是都很 relaxing 什么的这样子。但 Leo 只有跟我说一件事情，就是 Sarah 我觉得你还是不要放弃好了。然后因为这句话我又继续往下，然后下1个月又开始想要放弃的时候，然后我就遇到另外一个 podcaster， 他是现在旅游业就是旅游分类的节目里面很有名的，叫做 Unlockly Earth 解锁地球的那个当家主持叫做上节。我那时候在跟他讲说怎么办，我就不会剪辑又不会怎么样，然后算了吧。 然后他就那边就是因为然后他讲话就是一副那种就是干话很多，然后屌屌什么这样之类的，然后他那边说才没做几个月又要放弃，搞什么？然后他这样讲完以后，我想说哦，好像是也是可以坚持下去的动力之一。然后呢，再过1个月，然后就是我不知道 Amy 在不在线上。Amy 在她生日那一天来到生动台北录音室，然后我们在聊天的时候，他就跟我说 ：“Sara， 你不管做什么单元，都很像一种人物志。你不管做旅游系列，大家都做旅游系列，可是你做旅游系列，你特别想要知道，例如说我们的 Toastmaster in Prestige 有一个叫做 Philip 我们常聊天，可是他从来没有告诉过我南非多好玩 ，Safari 多好玩。可是呢，他就说 Safari 就是对他们来说就 camping 啊。所以我就从这边连接到很多关于他的人生故事。所以在我的 podcast 里面呢，系列是主大项，可是我真的很喜欢听大家的故事，而且对我来说，就是能够发光的绝对是人的本身，而不是那一些所谓的大系列的分享。我觉得这可能是我的 podcast 可以稍微跟市场区隔的一点点的一个小小的一个症结点这样子。所以呢，就总结来说，我觉得一开始真的你要先做，而且你要去练习去做一个善的循环跟交流，去找到你自己的方向。不然的话，就是你很容易就会闷在那边，然后就又要放弃，又要放弃，又要放弃。所以可能你看，我才做大概6个月左右，我每个月要放弃的时候，都会有人救了我，所以我非常感谢他们。
OK， 好，那我接着 Sara 这边后面哈 ，Sara 很多辛酸血泪史，虽然说她只做了6个月，我跟明轩这个节目做了1年，那明轩自己的节目超过1年哈，我不知道明轩等一下是不是会上来分享说他的那个香气杂技会不会弄到一半也想要放弃这件事情。可是我跟米沙豆哈跟明轩录这么久，我什么时候我有没有产后想要放弃跟 Sara 一样呢？明轩不知道，可是我真的是有些时候什么时候想放弃呢？就当你有看过《康熙来了》有没有？蔡康永有一次讲过说，我有时候觉得从徐熙娣那边传来一个那个冻气，冷冻的气过来，表示说他快不行了，他快不行了。然后呢，蔡康永就赶快就我来救，来救。我那个时候哈，就是我们2个录一录，总会有一个时间，明轩录到快要睡着，然后我还是要很镇静的一直讲，然后一直看着他，就是说王明轩不能睡着，不能睡着。然后有时候我录到最后就觉得说，骂老板骂的实在是很累，然后觉得这个主题怎么越讲越无聊。然后呢，我就看着明轩，然后他就开始那种就精神都来了，你知道吗？不是下午录音的话，应该是那种越录越觉得好无聊哦，越录觉得说，哎呀，赶快去旁边吃咸酥鸡，可能还比较快乐一点哦。就跟那个 Sherry 的那个节目一样，我们想说赶快去吃卤味，可能会比较开心一点哦。我觉得骂老板这个事情真的是就走到最后。你就会觉得说，会不会每一个听众都觉得骂到最后你好像也没词了？可是我觉得我们现在在场所有的人哈，我很建议 ToastMaster 在座的所有的人都来做这个节目的原因是，它不见得是要争取多高的收听率，可是就像我刚刚讲的第一个 ，You are passionate about a topic and have something to say。如果你真的像刚刚 Sherry 讲说，他们就是对卤味有兴趣，全台湾的卤味还不一样呢。有的是烟熏卤味呢，有的是冷的呢，有的热的呢，还有一些那个卤汁的方式不一样。你还可以采访老板娘，老板娘搞不好以前是科技新贵，然后她搞不好经商失败才来做卤味的啊。老板娘的故事，对不对？开玩笑，这个东西以前我们在演讲会就讲，你前面的故事可以用一些 metaphor， 你可以用一些 symbol 来作为你的 opening， 可是你后面有一些价值的东西，可以是你节目的亮点。我跟 Misado 在前面的节目，我们还有一个那个 host 叫 Alan， 我们也是在这3个人之中哈，我们3个月录，有时候录到某一个人觉得说啊，收一收算了啦，收一收哈，啊有些时候哈，录到后来就觉得说啊，我退出好了，我退出哈，这样子。可是我觉得节目一定会一直变，你一定会看到那个收听率觉得说都不高，会不会觉得说没有人要听？可是就像我刚刚讲的说 ，You have something to say。你本来就是想要来抒发一些事情的，那你今天就像综艺节目，有人看了会一直骂，有人看了会一直点头。我如果今天是 podcast 的沈玉琳，我才管你的嘞，钱来就干， 我讲的，就像我最近听吴淡如上大云食堂，他讲了一句话。吴淡如刚开始做 podcast 的时候，一做就是第1名，一做就是几千万的收听率。然后呢，就会有酸民下来跟他讲说，过气的老艺人不要再来这边蹭热度来骗人家的那个流量好不好？赶快滚！然后呢，吴淡如是怎么看待这件事情的？吴淡如说，不高兴可以不要听啊，我又没有强迫你听，你可以走，再见，不送，慢走不送。他的意思就是说，自媒体本来就是老娘老子爱讲什么就讲什么，我只要不是攻击你，我只要不会被告上法庭，我爱讲什么就讲什么，我爱讲卤味就讲卤味，我爱讲咸酥鸡就讲咸酥鸡，我爱讲意面就讲意面，有什么关系？对不对？所以呢，我觉得大家不要那个门槛很高哈，觉得说他一定要做到说像刘轩、像吴淡如这种千万的点击率，我跟你讲，一世人都不可能啊，一辈子都不太有可能。你今天如果跟他们一样有名的话，基本上你来做 podcast 的目的应该不会是我们今天讲的这些目标。我们好像还有一个问题是来自于我们的 guest Isaac 的问题哈。我们是不是请那个 host 我们主持人再看一下
Yeah. He asked like if the speakers encountered some challenges, like the voice that you recorded is not the same as your real voice, so it sounds different when you record it. I think that is his question. Yeah. So does William or Sarah want to answer this question?
Sarah, do you have any ideas?
No, I'm getting used to hearing my voice.
Yeah, for the first time when I joined Toastmaster, I don't like to watch my YouTube clips because I think my voice sucks, okay? I don't think my voice will attract people to want to listen to me. But after I take my courage to listen to my podcast, now what do you know the results? Every night, every day, I will spend hours listening to my voice and tell myself, wow, your podcast is so wonderful, so fantastic. You are brilliant. I'm not trying to persuade myself, but I think you have to admire yourself, like your voice. Then your audience will naturally like you. If you don't like your voice, you don't think that, oh, your podcast is amazing, then you won't have amazing podcasts. But if you think that, wow, one day I find my voice is awful, maybe you should check your service, your equipment, maybe something wrong. Just like I did yesterday, I think, well, wow, this voice is terrible and have so many noises. And then I found that maybe the software is, I have some problems operating the software, and I'm trying to learn more techniques to fix it. So I'm starting to Google. Maybe I can have some resources from the podcasters, other podcasters. Maybe they will have some the same problems. They can help you to fix that, just like Sarah did. If when you have some problems, you have some sadness, just go to your partners. Just like in Toastmaster, you still have partners, and they will encourage you. They will inspire you to go further. Even you want to give up, even you want to say, wow, it is the end of my podcast, but you still go forward, okay?
Thank you, William.
Thank
and I think
you.
like I forgot who told this to me, but like I think the voice in our head are different when the voice in our heads are different than the voice that other people are listening. So I don't know. Maybe it really sounds different, but you just have to love our own voices, right?
But actually, I I have the same I think I have the same problem with William, is that when I first added my YouTube video, I think I really hate to listen to my voice. But I have to do this, but I hate to do that. But then I think I get used to it, so I just overcome this obstacle. But by the way, I have to say, my YouTube channel isn't doing something related to the way. It's just the name. Yeah, the name is I can tell you later, but the name is not actually what we do. We are doing what we like. Also.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the time is already up, so maybe.
Yeah. So does everyone fill out the questionnaire?
Yes.
Please remember to do it so that we can know what to improve, right? Yeah.
Yes, the questionnaire is here. Yeah, if you haven't filled in the questionnaire, please help us to scan the QR code and fill in the form. Thank you. So maybe
next page.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is our club again, and here's our Facebook and Instagram QR code, so you can scan it to know that what we are usually doing during our regular meetings. Yeah, and
our meeting is at the same time with Sarah, is that we have our meeting on every Tuesday and 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And but because of the summer vacation, so we won't have meetings now. When we will have meetings started in maybe September.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can now join us.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and the next page. Thank you. So here is some information about District 67. So here you can follow this different QR code and you can find out different information here.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook account and also a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is our workshop today. So thank you for everyone's participation.
Yeah. And so at the end, we'll invite our helpers to say something at the end. So maybe we can invite Betty first.
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Betty, and I really like today's sharing from Sarah and William. I think I learned a lot, and I think it's a pity that I didn't hear your sharing 2 weeks ago, because I had a final homework and I need to do a podcast. And if I listen your sharing before I do it, I can do more better. Yes. And recently my friends had a plan to do some podcasts, and I think I can give them some advice from you guys. Yes. So thank you for your sharing today. And thank you everyone.
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you, Betty. So next we can invite our timer Harry to share your thoughts about a workshop today.
Hi everyone, I'm Harry, and I'm so loving our today's channel, William and Sarah's so informative sharing. And after listening the sharing, I know that there are so many preparation and so many assignments we have to do before we want to do the podcast. And also I learned some technique how to do the podcast, such as build my brand or identify the target audience. I think it can apply to many fields, so I benefit a lot. And another thing I want to say is that about promoting our NTNU Toastmasters. Our club is next to the Guting Station and Taidian Dalo. So if everyone has some time in the Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., we are very welcome everyone to join us. We are a very warm atmosphere of the club. Hope you like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Harry. So next, maybe we can invite our speakers to share their thoughts or maybe different ideas about today. So let's welcome William and Sarah.
I would like to make a promotion. I have a second podcast channel that which is called Mr. Toastmaster 吐司先生. That is all for my experiences and sharing about Toastmaster District 67. Because in Toastmaster, we still have another friend, Carrie Lee. She also has this kind of channel, a podcast channel, 演讲会大小事. So I think maybe we can we can share our experience or thoughts or concepts, even though we don't want to be the district directors or top 3. So we still can have these channels to sharing these thoughts and experiences with all of you. I think that's why I have the second podcast channel. You can Google that, Mr. Toastmaster 吐司先生. Thank you so much.
Thank you, William.
Thank you, William.
You can invite Sarah.
Oh, me? Okay, thanks for having me today. And feel free to listen to Sarah Silva's space.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. So I think
maybe Ellen.
Or Sherry.
Okay, you can go first.
All right. Yeah, I really have a good time tonight because it's been a while since the last time I host a meeting with Sherry together. So it's pretty fun and interesting. And I think I learned a lot during today's 2 sessions because recently I've been thinking about making my own podcast, right? So I don't know. I think I'll think about it. And maybe in the future I will have my own podcast. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen. And thank you for all the speakers today and everyone's participation. And I think I really learned a lot from the 2 speakers. And because I'm also thinking about starting a podcast of myself, is like sharing something, desserts or maybe food, because I really love to eat. But after discussing with my friend or my family, I just think that food needs the pictures, or maybe I need to use a video to shoot it. It's better to let people to know about what I'm eating, and they can feel about, wow, this food look like this, and how it will taste. They can imagine. So I think that maybe I can just do my YouTube channel and just make it more fans. And I hope everyone can also make your own podcast or even your social media one day. So hope everyone enjoyed tonight, and thank you for everyone's participation. Thank you.
Thank you.